Hello, 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 and a very, very good evening to you wherever you are watching us in the world. And welcome to the first of our live events after a big summer break. And I'm not sure it was the greatest of summers, to be perfectly honest with you, but at least we had a bit of time off and down and time to reflect and think. But that said, we've been super, super busy here at UKCPD. So I've got a bunch of announcements that I'm going to go through before we get into this evening's content. But first, let's see who we have with us live at the moment. So I can see we've got Chris. Hello, Chris. We've got Kylie. Hello, Kylie. We've got Jessica. We've got Jillian. And another Chris. Oh, it's the same Chris. Hello, hello, hello. Lovely to have you here with us this evening. Now, let's just get the banner set up before I forget. So there we go. We've got that up and running now. So hashtag BIG for tonight's big giveaway. Hello, Ingrid. Nice to have you with us as well. So you've got people coming in just on the hour of 7 o'clock. So tonight's giveaway is, because it's all about personal development this evening, I thought we would create something that we haven't kind of done for a long time, really, which is a personal development starter kit. Now, I know some of you are thinking, starter kit? We're into personal development a lot. And that doesn't matter. It's another thing that you can add, or maybe you can give it to your friends or somebody else, or make Christmas presents out of it. Who knows? So what's in this kit, you're asking? I hear you saying, what's in this kit? Well, what's in this kit is a whole bunch of books. So I'm going to quickly go through them because we've got a lot to get through this evening. So Exploring the 7 Habits, Creating the Life You Want, NLP and Introduction, Boost Your Self-Esteem, remind me how much more, Discovering the Habits, or Developing the Habits of Success, a notebook to make your notes, and if that wasn't enough, a copy of the Kickstart Journal to start journaling, because we know that journaling is one of the most powerful things you can do to accelerate your personal development. We'll also throw in a pen, and roll of drums, we'll even send one of our new little pins. We've been dishing those out at the end of the summer. People have really, really liked them, which is very, very nice. So we'll put all of that in the post to you at the end if you win. And we'll do the draw at the end. So it's hashtag BIG in the chat, and that way we'll run the thing at the end. So hashtag BIG in the chat. Now then, let's just get to the announcements before we get stuck in. So first off, a big shout out to Success Pictures. And if you don't know who they are, we're using some of their imagery in tonight's presentation. Great bunch of people, and you can find them on Instagram at Success Pictures. Really inspirational stuff. Have you noticed that we've been doing some outside broadcasts? If you haven't, they're all on the social media channels, YouTube and all that kind of things. Check them out. And if you're not a regular contributor to the college here, or a member, and you've got a question around personal development, you can maybe ask tonight, or you can email in, and maybe we'll do an outside broadcast in your honor. Done the giveaway. Oh, and the other thing we did in the summer was we launched the podcast, which was very, very exciting. And again, thank you for all of the really positive feedback we've had on that. That's been really, really, truly marvelous. We've really, really enjoyed getting that, and that's spurred us on to make it even more serious. We kind of started off as a kind of an experiment, but it's gone very, very well. Now, tonight, because it's an open Be Inspired group, it's going out to everybody, not just our membership. When we run the giveaway, you might not be able to enter it, but we'll do our best to make sure that we can, because we're going out on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook as well. But we will do our best to make sure everybody gets to engage in that process. Okay, who else has joined us now? We've got Brittany. Hello, Brittany. We've said hello to Kylie. We've said hello to Jessica. I think that's everybody got so far. Yes, I think it is. Hello, hello, hello. Lovely to have you here with us live. It's always better live because you get to ask questions. And of course, you get to maybe even win something at the end. Now, I've also been suffering from a horrible cold. I'm still a little bit coughy. My apologies for that. But at least I don't sound like Darth Vader anymore, which is what I did sound like the other day when we were doing a podcast recording. And I listened to it back and I thought, goodness me, I do sound really, really strange. But I'm getting there. You know, don't worry about me. I'll be fine. That's all good. Okay, so tonight we're looking at personal development as a general thing. I've got a couple of interesting things to think about here, and it's this notion of unlocking future success, unlocking future success. How personal development is that key that just lines everything up and just turns everything in the right direction, so that something can happen to make a change in your life. Now, I know a lot of you will think, well, I know the answer to this question. So this is going out to anybody and everybody out there in the universe who thinks, yeah, I've kind of heard of personal development or maybe personal growth, or is it the same as professional development? So we're going to kind of answer all of those questions to start with. So the question is, what is meant by that term? So as always, a couple of quotations to get us started. So Confucius, they must often change who would be constant in happiness or wisdom. So straight away we get the idea that there's something about changing if we want to have the wisdom to be kind of happy. So that's kind of an interesting thing. Now, Jim Rohn, my one-time mentor, your level of success will seldom excel or exceed even your level of personal development. So something about measuring, how we measure success is in some way the same measure of the effort we put in to our development. And Earl Schoaf, who was Jim Rohn's mentor, and became my mentor, if you want to be wealthy and happy, learn this lesson well. Learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. So something about working on myself more than other things that we might have to do in our jobs. Now, Stephen Covey, his famous book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. One of the 7 habits is sharpen the saw. Now, when I first read this book, God, it must be 100 years ago, I remember thinking, sharpen the saw. Wow, what a really interesting idea. And what we mean about that, what he meant by that, is this kind of notion of preserving and enhancing the greatest asset that you have, which of course is you. You are the greatest asset that you have. It means having a balanced program of self-renewal. And Covey lists it in these 4 areas of your life. Physical, so you're physically fit, looking after your health. Social and emotional. We're balanced in our social sort of interactions with other people. We're fly off the handle. We have a high EQ or emotional intelligence. Mental health. There's a lot of that at the moment in the press about looking after our mental health. And of course, spiritual health. And as you renew yourself in each of these 4 areas, you create growth and change in your life. So, in short, the idea, so this is me talking in a sense here, the idea really that I've got around, personal development probably means this intentionally, so this intention, I have an intention to invest in future success and happiness. So my intention, so it's an outcome from the get-go, there's an outcome here, intending to invest in future success and happiness. Now, we do this by taking actions now. It's not going to happen by accident. We've got to take action now in developing our skills and our knowledge. And in doing this with just a little discipline, you do need a bit of a discipline. It says Habits of Success. It's one of the books that we're giving away this evening. And in that process, we become the very best version of ourselves that we can be. Now, Aristotle defined personal development as a category of gaining practical wisdom, where the practice of developing virtues, translation, skills, insights, and knowledge, leads to happiness, or the better translation is human flourishing or living well. So it's got a long tradition in Western culture and indeed other cultures. So this is a sort of textbook definition. Personal development includes activities that improve awareness, for sure, identity, figuring out who we are and what's important to us, developing talents and potential, human build capital, and facilitate employability. So we're going to advance our career, enhance the quality of our lives generally. We become nicer people, and contribute to the realization of dreams and aspirations. So it's pretty lofty. So how do we do about this? Really, I think it's about an attitude. And I kind of remember in my own history, my own sort of growing up through, various different jobs and businesses and things that I worked at. And I kind of stumbled into personal development almost by accident. Originally, the first thing was when I worked at Renault UK, when I worked in the car industry. And there was this personal development program that all of the sort of managers were sent on. And it was kind of the idea that you're worth the effort of investing in yourself. you're worth it because you're your best asset. And because you know you'll reap a reward if you do this. The evidence is clear. Personal development provides a clear path to a happier and more fulfilled life. So it's that attitude, yes, I'm worth spending this time, energy, and possibly even some money in developing myself. But time is the biggest one. We're going to get to something about that in a second. Now, a starting point, and these are questions I ask, a lot of people, and I think I might even have mentioned them on a Be Inspired group thing in the past. But these are good starting points because if we're going to engage in some kind of personal development or growth program, or even slowing down and just taking a bit of a moment, it's a good idea to ask a few questions. So the first one is, in an ideal world, what would I or you be doing with your time and energy? It's the old question, if you won the lottery, what would you do? Now, most people say, well, I'd go on holiday, I'd look after mom, I'd look after furry animals, give some money to charity, etc., etc. But if some of these lottery winnings are bonkersly huge. What would you do with your time, your energy, your resource? And here's the sad thing. Most people who win the lottery are either broke or dead in a year and a half because they don't have a plan. Now, I'm not suggesting we can all win the lottery on Saturday, but what I am suggesting is we begin to think about, okay, what's important to me? Where do I want to go? What would I like really, if I had the opportunity, to be doing more of my time with, spending more time at, and so on and so on. So a couple of more questions. What really does motivate you in life? Maybe there's a clue there about something you ought to really be engaging in, more of, and less of the things that don't really motivate you or nurture you or feed your soul or your spirit. What really motivates you? Do I love my current job? Now, if not, what other career path would I really want? Now, this is a very difficult question because oftentimes, well, I don't know if I like it or not, but it pays the rent. It pays the mortgage. It sends the kids to school. It puts food on the table. These are all noble things. But is there an opportunity to do something different? Now, only you would know the answer to this. And if there was something else, are you clear about what that would be? And here's the thing, most people are not. Most people are not. If you can take the time, think, well, if I could, it would be X, it would be doing that. Okay, that's true. What's the first step I could take, even a small one, to move me closer to that? Is it take a training course? Is it see a coach, from a career coach or something? Is it skill up? Is it start brushing up my CV, etc., etc.? It could be all sorts of things. But again, it's something to think about, maybe, if you wanted to make a change. And then another thing is very, very good in personal development is this notion of what are my strengths and my weaknesses? We almost do like a SWOT analysis on ourselves. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What areas might I need to, strengthen, work on? Or maybe it's just something I'm just so not good at, I'm not going to even try doing it anymore. I'll get somebody else to do it for me or with me. As an example, I'm terrible at admin, so the team do it for me because I'm just terrible at it. So somebody else does it for me. What simple changes can I make to my life to deepen my happiness? What simple changes? Now, this sounds like a simple question, but actually it's a very big question because often it's the simple things we discount as doing because we think, well, it's not going to have a big impact. I'm here to tell you, less is more. Small changes in your life that move you in a more positive direction will have a big effect over a period of time. We're going to be looking at some of the examples of those things that you might possibly want to think about in a minute. What are my values? What's important to me? Again, that might take a little time. So I'm not saying any of these questions are easy to answer. You might need to sit maybe with a coach or with a friend, somebody to really help you. What are my core values? Because if you're very clear about what they are and they're misaligning in your life and you're thinking, no wonder I feel unhappy or a bit angsty, I might need to do some kind of changes. And then this is the question I really like, and I asked one of my coaching clients this last week. When was because we were babbling on about this and that, and then feeling a bit, the summer's gone, we didn't do this, we didn't do that. I said, hold on a second. When was the last time you did something brand new for you for the first time? and they couldn't even think of it. I said, right, maybe you need to get off that hamster wheel just once in a while, and have some downtime. That can be very powerful. Now, the next thing, of course, about personal development is if I'm going to have a better future, I need something to aim towards, a goal or an outcome. And I always say, dream big, set the goal, break it down into small chunks, but take action, 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 action. Now, we've done loads and loads of videos about goal setting, outcomes, well-formed futures, all of those kind of things. So I'm not going to go into that this evening, but it is key to making any change in your life. You have to have some kind of North Star that is taking you in the direction you want to go. But it's much more than that. And we're going to look at a few things what I'm talking about and why personal development is the key, which is the thing. So here's the thing then. Consider for a moment the sheer volume of content, messaging, promotional advertising, news items that we're all exposed to each and every day of the week. You know, stuff on the news, on the radio, in the car, billboards, adverts, everything, magazines. We've been bombarded with it. And a lot of it isn't particularly positive. And we have to be honest about that. Some of it is inane, some of it might even be entertaining and funny, but a lot of it is not necessarily helpful. And what it does is it colors our thinking. It's kind of like putting on, those colored glasses and how we see the world, but more importantly, how we actually see and feel about ourselves. Those little kind of negative colors begin to seep in and just kind of begin to take the shine off how we see ourselves, the world, and certainly the idea, as we have always in personal development and coaching, a better tomorrow, the possibility of a better tomorrow. And this is especially so in so-called social media, so very anti-social media, because it acts as this comparison engine all the time, comparing X with Y. And what happens, especially for young people, they're always comparing their current state to what they imagine these photographs and pictures on social media are. Usually not true, but they can't tell. It's what happens, and it becomes kind of an addictive thing and has a negative effect on our whole selves. So when we dip our attention, and it's about taking our attention away from the rubbish, if I can use that word, the negativity, the bland, the useless, the uninformative, the not nourishing content, and dip our attention into some form of personal development, it helps to see things in a slightly different way. There's an alternative possibility, an alternative truth, if you will. So rather than our thoughts being focused on negativity, the light of positivity begins to shine and shows us that there is an option and a possibility of a better tomorrow. Now, we all know the old adage, you are what you eat. And, there was that TV show a while ago. I think the guy died recently, unfortunately. But, if you eat a lot of McDonald's or other fast foods are available, I can't think of another one, Kentucky Fried Chicken or any of that. If you eat that all of the time, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to be a well person. So you've got to have a balanced, healthy diet. So you've got a healthy body. So you are what you eat, and that's for sure. But we also say you are what you think. And this is quite an NLP thing in a way. What am I feeding my mind with? Is it drama, bad news, negativity, bad soap operas, nonsense online? Or is it positivity, dreaming big, the discipline of getting up early and starting work, spending time, feeding our minds and our souls, and not polluting it with this obviously not useful content. And this is one of the success pictures that I mentioned before. So was the other one, actually. So your mind is like a factory, and the ingredients you're putting into it will be used to make the final product, which is your life. What ideas? What are the ideas, the notions, the concepts, the dreams that you're feeding your mind with? What are they? What is the stuff that's going in? Now, we're all familiar with Carol Dweck's, I can't even say her name properly, of the growth mindset and the fixed mindset. Now, we know the growth mindset is really what we need to be leaning towards. And it's kind of an attitude where failure is an opportunity to grow. Again, very NLP, there's no failure, only feedback. Challenges help me grow. I like to try new things. All of that kind of yes, can do approach. It's the old thing, what does success come in? It comes in cans, as opposed to the fixed mindset: failure, I can't do it, I've always been useless, I'm frustrated, I'm going to give up, I'll just stick to what I know, don't put your neck out there, what if it goes wrong? Excuse me. All of that kind of thinking. And we know where that takes us. Nowhere. Which isn't necessarily very helpful. So this growth mindset, there's a lot of stuff in the media about that. You'll come across her book's great. So if I read a book, it's very, very good. However, I'm inclined to, and I've been thinking about this a lot in the last few months, growth mindset, great, but really we want a success mindset. I think we've done a video about this a while ago. Those of you who are college members, you'll be able to find that in the video feed in the Be Inspired group. And if you're watching and you're not a member, I'm going to talk about how you can become a member for free at the end of this broadcast. So when we have developing or begin to develop or have developed a success mindset, we have clear goals. Or as we've mentioned, I think last week, this notion of well-formed futures or well-formed future. We're clear, we have a plan. We've developed a personal philosophy for success, and I've talked about that many, many times in other videos. We feed our mind and soul with the fuel that energizes us and it makes us feel good about ourselves. And we're part of a can-do tribe. So we look around the room and we think, are these people supporting me and helping me think in the right way? Are they dragging me down with their gossip and their negativity and their unhelpful views? Because choices need to be made. Now, if you're part of the Be Inspired group, one would assume you're already in the right tribe. However, maybe you need to do some more pruning. I remember a colleague of mine said to me once, he was feeling really, really low, and he sort of was at a party, and he looked around the room, and he realized none of these people were his real, quote unquote, friends. They were people he hung out with because he felt they were cool. But actually, they were negativity. They were very, very unhealthy lifestyles with drugs and all sorts of things. And so he got up and he walked out and he never engaged with those people again. And his life began to improve very, very quickly as he began to focus on what was important to him and his goals for him and his family. And that's the kind of thing we're talking about. Now, this is important. I hear you. It's never worked for me. And I hear this a lot. Tony, yes, it's all great. I've heard these great ideas before, but they don't work for me. They've never worked for me. And in fact, I think about a month ago, maybe a bit longer, there was an article written in the Guardian newspaper, the Guardian of all newspapers, which enraged me, that, it's not good, it doesn't work, and blah, blah, blah. And this person was recanting their story about how much they'd bought a course and they'd bought a book and it hadn't worked for them. And I thought, hold on a second, what specifically hasn't worked for you? Because you can read as many books and go as many courses as you like. And I'm happy to sell you the courses and indeed the books, but nothing will happen change-wise in your life unless you take action. Goals are not goals, or outcomes are not outcomes. They're dreams and wishes unless you start to take action. That's why we always say when we're setting outcomes with clients, what's the first step? What's the first step? What do you need to do today while the iron's hot? Well, the emotion's there. I want to make this change. I mean it. It's important to me. I want to do it. What's the first step? Once you're clear about that and you take action, you're probably well on your way. Now, things are, I've mentioned books and courses. So there's a lot of things you can do. Now, this is the poster, the famous Napoleon Hill poster that you probably will have seen, but, developing a philosophy for success. I've talked about this a lot, but self-help books, training programs, meditation, journaling. That's why there's a journal here be giving away to see. Journaling in and of itself is probably one of the cheapest, simplest, but powerful things you can do to kickstart a personal development program. It's difficult to start with. What do I say? What do I do? Just sit and think. What's happened in the last week that's made me think, ugh, or ah? And then once you figure out the pattern begins to, over time, pattern, I avoid that. I do more of this. And then your whole sort of unconscious mind begins to develop a different way of looking at the world. You become more contented. It's a kind of a meditative process in and of itself. But anyway, journaling. And we've got articles on the website all about journaling. Poetry, for some people, is very, very powerful. Most of you will know Chris Razy as an example. He's big on that. Painting. My father-in-law is a great painter. I do a little bit of photography, but I'm not very good enough to sort of say I was a photographer, but certainly a little bit. And then the other thing is spending time outdoors, getting away from the screen, away from the TV. Get out there and breathe the air, even when it's raining. Put your jacket on, get out and enjoy the sunshine when it's there. The rain even kind of wash away the gloop. Get that hot, we've been doing those outside broadcasts, and I think somebody emailed in to say, you sound like you're breathless. Well, we've gone these hikes up on the Quantocks or down by the coastal path. So, but it's transformative. I'm sitting here day after day, get out there, feeling much, much better, clearer, better ideas. Oh, I know we could do this. We could do this to help the students. We can do this to help grow the college. So get outside. All of these things make a big difference. Now, we mentioned books. This is just a small selection of books that I found useful. You'll probably find different ones, but The Miracle Morning I will highlight because I'm a fan of getting up early. I'm in the 5 o'clock group. Get up, get out of bed, and start to do, the things that Hal's recommend, a bit of meditation, a bit of personal development reading, a bit of writing, scribing, as he calls it, all of those things, and a bit of exercise. It really begins to make a difference to how you feel about yourself and tomorrow. There is a better tomorrow. Jim Rohn, The 7 Strategies of Wealth and Happiness, The Power of Positive Thinking, Anthony Robbins, Awaken the Giant Within, probably the best book he's written. As a Man Thinketh, I'm a fan of that. Brian Tracy, huge influence on me when I was back in sales. Goals. So these are important books, and they really do. And you don't even read them once. If you see my copy, there's notes and pens and highlights. You read them many, many, many times. And as time's gone on, I now have all of these books as audiobooks as well. And so they're all in the house when I'm sort of doing stuff, because it's always topping up. So we're really blocking out all of the negativity. Now, I'm going to mention this. Of course, I'm going to mention this. The single biggest thing you can do to accelerate your personal and professional development career is study NLP and the coaching process. Why? It's the toolkit for success. It changed my life beyond recognition, and I know it can probably work for you as well. So, if I ask you the question, do you want to be happier, more successful, generally feel more at ease and comfortable in your skin? I'm going to say most people will say the answer is yes. So with that in mind, so this next bit is for anybody who's not already a college member, already not a member of the Be Inspired group. And I know there are some of you watching out there in the universe. We've got lots and lots of things that we provide completely free of charge for you to maybe start, because people often say, I'd like to do some personal development. I'd like to invest in myself, but I haven't got the money. Times are hard. There's a, financial crisis and all of these kind of things. Well, great. Come to our website. It's for free. All you got to do is dip in. Think Big, the Journal of Personal Development. Each and every week, 1 or 2 articles, brand new, focusing on different areas of personal and indeed professional development. The brand new podcast, Jump Into Success. I'm amazed how quickly it's flown off the shelves and grown. We got quite a big, interest in that already, and lots of positive comments. And we've interviewed some really, really interesting people. And we've got a lot more lined up in the coming months. Plus, we're going to focus in on very specific topics from episode to episode. Oh, and the question somebody asks is, but can I get access to it? I don't always want to have to go to the website. It's on all of the major podcast sites, Apple One, Spotify, all of them. You just search for Jump Into Success and you'll find us. UKCPD-TV, a growing library of videos that you can access at any time on the website. The Be Inspired group, this very group that you're in at the moment, you can come and join us. If you join the Be Inspired group, you get daily motivational, thought-provoking quotations every day in your inbox, a weekly Monday morning coaching video to get you energized and ready for the week, monthly live event just like this one, and sometimes with guests. We've got no guests with us tonight, but sometimes we've got guests that we have interviews with, and of course you'll be in with a chance to get some swag. Once you're registered, you get there's a video course, Introduction to Personal Development, and the mini book as well. And it's all there for free. Now, as I wrap this up and we get to answering questions and so on, I started college some 25 years ago. And I did it because when I did my sort of NLP training in particular, there were other things too before that, but it was the NLP part really accelerated my thought process. It changed. I thought, wow, this is like magic. I can go from feeling not pretty great about myself and thinking, oh, well, this is my lot in life, to actually anything's possible. And so that became the mission, help as many people as we can. so that they can be happier, more successful, and generally have a better quality of life. And that helps us live in a better country. The more people are happy in themselves, content, the more people will be happy, content. It's kind of little ripples that go out in the pond. So we kind of make the country cool, happy, productive, and a great place to live. Now, this is possible if only you get rid of all the negativity. You've got to get rid of all that stuff and develop this personal philosophy for success. And invest in your own personal development will enable you to do this. Now, I've got lots of videos talking about personal success philosophy, so you can check those videos out on the website if you're a new person to the program, because we're always happy to talk about it again if you want. So that brings me to the end of tonight's presentation. Let me just get rid of these slides and let's see who we have. There we go. They're all gone. Okay, so let's just check. We've got a whole bunch of people. Yes, we have. Are there any questions about this evening? So I don't know. I know we've got people watching on other platforms, and I can see there are some. I think it will let you send in the questions. So send them in. Whilst you're typing them in fact, you will do that. And I'm happy to answer any question that there might be. I'm going to set myself up to start running the giveaway. Now, the giveaway will run automatically. But you have to put hashtag BIG in the chat if you want to be in with a chance to win. And if you're not already in our database, stay on so I can get your address and all those kind of stuff so I can send it out to you. Thank you for your words. Can't wait to start the coaching course. All right, so it's a new student. Great. Lovely to have you along here with us this evening. And we look forward to getting to know you a lot more next weekend. We start all of the live programs next weekend. So that's very, very exciting. Great. Lovely to have you, Mary. Okay, so hashtag BIG. I'm about to do that now. Hashtag BIG. Let's just get this set up. I also get how to do it because I don't do it that very often. Only for you lovely people, see? Here we go. I think that's what I'm supposed to do. Click on the giveaway tools. Share. Okay, so hopefully everybody has hashtag BIG. This is your last chance to do it. And we're going to draw now. Gillian. So Gillian, you are our winner this evening. Let me stop sharing that and I will take a note. There we go, Gillian. Gillian. Whoops. Didn't get the surname. Okay, Gillian, I will find your details because we'll have your email address, I think, if you've registered, so that'll be fine. If you don't hear from me in a day or two, get in touch. Yay, Gillian's saying. Well, that's pretty good. Gillian, are you already on our database? I think you are, but just hit me a message to say yes, that I will have your address to be able to send out the things. It'll go out in the post probably tomorrow. I've got to go to the post office at some point tomorrow because I've got a couple more manuals to send out for next week. So there we go. Okay, were there any questions? Let's just check. Oh, Ian, hello, Ian. Nice to see you. I haven't seen you for a while. Yes, I've got your details. That's fantastic. Okie dokie. Rightio, guys. If there are no questions, I'm going to wrap up. It's been a very, very long day. And I think I've done all of the announcements. Remember, the CPD program is now up and running. So you can go onto the website and check that out. We had one last week. That went very, very well. And we've got lots more. Hello, good to have you. Question, I've already done my coaching in NLP. Are there any other courses you can recommend? Carly, there are plenty I can recommend. What I'll do is I'll ping you an email tomorrow. Let me make a note so I don't forget. Email Carly. Okay, I will do that. And I'll give you some suggestions. Any other questions before we wrap up? Happy to answer them if there are, of course. I'm happy always to do that. So remember, if you have got a question about personal development generally and you're not one of our normal people, not that you're not normal, you understand what I'm saying, ping us an email, info@UKCPD.co.uk, and we'll maybe even do one of our live videos and mention you by name. And if you haven't seen any of those videos, just go onto YouTube and you can see me gasping for air, walking up and down the coast with the camera on the stick. It's been fun doing them, actually. It really, really has. Okay, I'm going to wrap up, guys. Lovely to have you here with us live. Take care, and I will see you in the next live broadcast, which will be the end of October. Yeah, the end of October. Till then, take care of yourselves. And if you're on one of our upcoming programs, looking forward to seeing you live then. Take care, guys. Bye for now. Whoops.